ASBYT here and welcome back to a brand new video. Now, if we believe the rumours, the Samsung Galaxy S9 will be launched on the 26th of February. Pre-orders will then follow, and then of course first people will get their hands on it in March. We believe this to be true because it happens the same pretty much every year. But in this video, I'm going to let you guys know potentially why you might want to skip the Galaxy S9 and opt for something else. First of all, I know what you're thinking. Christmas is done, why are you wearing a Christmas jumper? But to be fair, it's been snowing again the last couple of days, so I felt festive again. Roll on Christmas 2018. But enough of that. We're going to get straight to the information about the Samsung S9. Now, firstly, a disclaimer. I am not a Apple fanboy. I don't hate Samsung at all. There are many good things about the Samsung phones. They are one of the best phones every single year. And I will probably be doing a video, the 7 reasons why you should buy a Galaxy S9. But right now I'm going to talk you through 7 reasons why you potentially might not want to. So first of all, it's an obvious one, but a very important one for a lot of people, and that is of course price. It's going to be one of the most expensive phones in 2018. Again, it happens every single year. Samsung and Apple lead the way. Apple usually at the highest, followed by Samsung, followed by the rest of the crowd. This one's going to be no different. For the first time last year, the $1,000 market was broken by Apple, and Samsung was around 900 and something. Extortionate amounts of money for what they are. And again, like I mentioned, this is probably going to be no different. We are going to be looking at a 900 odd pounds phone, potentially even breaking that £1,000 mark, which would just be insane. Number 2, from looking at all the renders, we've looked at all the leaks, all the designs, a lot of things to do with the Samsung S9. And if we're to believe everything we've been shown and told so far, the Samsung S9 is going to look very, very similar to the Samsung S8. So there's not going to be too much revolution in the way it's been changed. It's going to have slightly shrunken bezels, top and bottom, but on the whole, the form factor in general, it's going to look pretty much the same as the S8. The actual screen size is going to be the same, 5.8 inches again, so we're led to believe. And it's going to be a Quad HD Super AMOLED display, exactly the same again as what you saw on the Samsung S8. 4GB of RAM, same as the S8. There's potentially going to be alternative varieties, and you'll be able to get a 6GB version. It's going to be IP68 water and dust resistance, the same as the S6. S6, definitely not the same as the S6. The S8, wireless charging and iris scanner, again exactly the same as on the Samsung S8. The front-facing selfie shooter isn't going to be necessarily that much improved. It's going to be, again, we're led to believe, an 8-megapixel front camera, same as the S8, and it's not going to have the ability to film at 4K either. And the reason why there's potentially still no 4K is because the front-facing camera would need a camera of 8.3 megapixels or more in order to be able to film in 4K. The same, I will just touch on what is going to be changed just again to give you all the information. So the processor is going to be different. You're going to have either the Snapdragon 845 in the US version and the Exynos 9810 in the international version. Now, in terms of raw performance, there will be minor improvements, but the everyday user won't see a great deal. However, one of the main things about this new processor is optimizing battery performance and optimizing camera performance. Another thing that's going to be changed is the fingerprint sensor, which is now going to be located in the middle and not off to the side. So that is a slight improvement in my eyes. But is it different enough for you guys? Is there under the screen technology? No. Is there going to be a revolutionary new face scan? No. Now, there is mixed opinions about the rear camera. A lot of leaks and renders have shown the S9 to have a single camera and the S9 Plus to have a dual camera. But equally, if you look at a leaked image of a box of the S9, it does suggest that the S9 will also have a dual camera. And again, on this box, it suggests that the dual camera will include an f1.5, and that's of course changed from the f1.7 we saw on the S8, and that means that you're going to get better low light performance. And we're also going to see 4K video recording at 60 frames a second. We're going to break that down a little bit and jump back to why potentially some of these may be negatives. The improvement in battery performance using that new 845 Snapdragon or the new Exynos processor, in my opinion, probably isn't going to produce the sort of performance they're going to market it at. What I mean by that is every year we hear that Android 7, Android 8 is always going to improve the battery performance, and in reality it's very minor, and I think I would be shocked if it was massively different with the new 2 sets of processors. And with the leaks being a 3000 milliamp battery, I think we're going to struggle again with battery performance, and that is generally why a lot of people will sway away from Samsung, is because their battery performance on the whole isn't perhaps as good as, say, the Pixels or some of the other flagship phones around at the moment. TouchWiz, or of course Grace UX, or that they tried to rename it as. A lot of people will still refer to it as TouchWiz, which is of course a skin that goes over Android. Most people will generally tell you that a stock Android experience is much more fluid, much more lag-free, much more glitch-free, and the Samsung TouchWiz or Grace UX does improve every single year, but nevertheless it is still not as fluid as stock Android, and that is just a simple fact. You've also got things like Bixby and all of that palaver. Some people would just prefer to stay with stuff that is very, very simple. The Note 9 will be out a few months afterwards, and generally most years people tend to find that the Note series actually outperforms the S series. You may beg to differ on that, and again, it's open to interpretation. That's the brilliant thing about smartphones. Everyone will have their own opinions, but they often have a few months to sort of work on a few things, and often, like I said, the Note series is as popular, if not more, than the S line. And as well as the Note 9, which will be due out a few months afterwards, there's also talk of the X, there's also talk of the Z, potentially not ready for 2018, but very, very soon there will be a new Samsung phone which is completely different to something we've seen before. Now again, because the Samsung S series are usually released early in the year, February, March time, that gives a lot of months for things to be perfected and added to new phones. So you've got all of the other top flagship phones, other than usually LG, generally pretty much launch after the Samsung phones. And you've got the Apple phones, you've got the Google Pixel phones that generally launch around September time. They've got all of those months in order to improve on stuff that's potentially failed with the Samsung phones. Again, just a thought, you might want to look elsewhere. And of course, in those months, we may get more developments with things like fingerprint sensors under the screens. There are a few companies that are doing that at this moment in time, and these extra sort of 4 or 5 months between the release of the Samsung phone and the release of the Pixel and the iPhone, it may give those companies the chance to actually input this fingerprint in the display, which so many people have been trying to get hold of in the last couple of years. They're desperate for this to happen. Those phones may have it, where potentially the Samsung S9 won't. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about the Samsung Galaxy S9, whether it is one that you are definitely going to go out and buy because you buy the Samsung phones every year, or you normally have other phones but you're going to try the S9 this year, reasons why you like the leaks and designs, why you don't. And like I mentioned right at the start, remember this was a completely unbiased opinion of certain things that I might think are negatives on the new phone, but there will also be loads of great things about the S9, which again I will do a video on as soon as possible. Like and share if you did enjoy this video and found it helpful. Subscribe and hit that little notification bell if you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video, and I'll see you in the next one. Say ASBYT, peace out.